examples. In 1928 alone, eugenics was a topic, a course topic, in 376 separate college courses, with 20,000 students taking those courses as a regular routine. Can you imagine signing up for classes today? Well, I'm going to take philosophy and calculus and trigonometry and eugenics, but that's what happened. Margaret Sanger, we all know her, founded the American Birth Control League to urge the legalization of contraception for illegal immigrants and poor women. In its time, eugenics was touted by some as scientific and progressive. It was the natural application of knowledge about breeding applied to the arena of the human race. Well, we breed horses to get the best thoroughbreds. Let's do the same over here with humans and kill off the ones we don't like. Before the realization of the death camps in World War II, the idea that eugenics would lead to genocide simply wasn't even considered. It wasn't even taken seriously by the average American. Sterilization laws were put into place and programs in states all over the nation. It was the law that certain people had to be sterilized. Now, if you think this happened in like some small little place here or there, we've got some very scary graphics coming up for you. Starting in 1923, Oregon forcibly sterilized 2,648 people, including the mentally ill, criminals, epileptics, and homosexuals. And this state holds the dubious distinction of being one of two states that used castration as the form of sterilization. When did this end in Oregon? Well, I've never heard about that. The last sterilization was performed in 1978. But they weren't the only ones using these horrific practices. California was considered an epicenter of American eugenics. They sterilized 20,000 of their citizens, the state of California, by law. 1/3 of all sterilizations, as a matter of fact, performed in America happened in California. All in all, over 30 states enacted compulsory sterilization laws. Why don't you take a look at this map? 30 states enacted these laws. Look at this here. Pennsylvania, Indiana, California, Connecticut, Washington, Iowa, Nevada, New Jersey, New York, Kansas, North Dakota, Wisconsin, Michigan, Nebraska, New Hampshire, Oregon, South Dakota, Idaho, Alabama, Delaware, Montana, Virginia, Maine, Utah, Minnesota, Mississippi, Arizona, North Carolina, West Virginia, Oklahoma, Vermont, South Carolina, Georgia. Look at that map. Legal sterilization by law. 29 states enacted these laws before 1930, 4 after 1930. Look at that map. And don't think that ideas don't have consequences. Tens of thousands of Americans were sterilized against their will because rich elite people who pushed this stuff through different scientific academies and got their stamp of approval said, oh, this is how we have to regulate humanity. This was sanctioned by the U.S. government, the federal government. As a matter of fact, in the early 1900s, African Americans were to receive, they were targeted as a group to receive sterilization. Many were told if they did not surrender themselves to sterilization, they'd be stripped of their benefits, forced to abort unborn children, find new doctors, and other manipulative techniques to force sterilizations upon them. African American and other non-white men were spared time in jail if they agreed to be sterilized. The American Birth Control League, created in 1921 by Margaret Sanger, who is a well-known racist and an advocate for eugenics. She even began one program in the late 1920s aimed specifically at blacks called the Negro Project, and it was funded. With funding from John D. Rockefeller III, the American Birth Control League in 1942 became Planned Parenthood. Hitler did not originate the idea of eugenics and creating superior Aryan race. It was indeed an American concept. He saw this happening in America and went, aha, and grabbed it and incorporated it into his whole Nazi philosophy. He even received funding from the Rockefellers and the Carnegies to further his research and experiments. One of the places that got funded by the Rockefellers and the Carnegies was the Kaiser Wilhelm Institute in Germany. It was all about sterilization and eugenics. Population control is not about race anymore. It's about survival of the fittest, about preserving and supporting a superior elitist class of human beings.